Do you think rest is more valuable than total effort in the decisive moments of the season? And what if taking a break is exactly what guarantees victory in the playoffs? That's the question surrounding the Toronto Maple Leafs after an intense night on the ice. Last Thursday, against the worst team in the NHL, the San Jose Sharks, the Leafs showed heart. Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner were the protagonists of an emotional comeback. They helped the team erase a 2-goal deficit and push the game into overtime. Despite the massive effort, victory didn't come. A bitter shootout loss. But what caught attention the next day was the absence of the two stars at Friday's optional skate. The explanation: extreme fatigue. Coach Craig Berube was direct. The minutes were very high, especially towards the end. We needed our most skilled players out there because the game demanded it. And he's not wrong. Matthews and Marner both logged over 25 minutes on the ice, a heavy load even for stars used to the spotlight. Berube emphasized that while winning is the goal, managing player workload will be essential to keeping the team competitive through the end of the season. I don't want them playing that much every time, but every game has its own story, and we want to win, he explained. This decision raises an important point. Strategic rest could be the difference between an early exit and a deep playoff run. Now more than ever, Toronto needs to find the balance between preserving its stars and continuing to pick up points in the race for the Atlantic Division. Now it's your turn, fan. What should the Leafs prioritize in this critical moment? Resting the stars or maximum intensity until the end? Comment below. And if you like staying on top of everything happening with the Toronto Maple Leafs, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any content. This is Leafs News Fan Report, always with you on and off the ice. And while Matthews and Marner take a well-deserved breather, the pressure only increases for the upcoming games. Every lost point now could be costly down the road, and Toronto knows it. But is it worth sacrificing the energy of your top players for an immediate win, risking having them worn out when they're needed most? The truth is, the Leafs are at a crossroads. The fans want results. The team wants wins. And the playoffs wait for no one. Managing intensity, protecting players, and still maintaining a competitive edge has become a mental game as complex as the battles on the ice. On top of that, the supporting cast will need to prove itself. With the main players' minutes being monitored, the spotlight turns to those still trying to secure a permanent spot on the team. It's time for lesser-known names to show they can step up, handle the pressure, and deliver when the Giants take a breath. Craig Berube, even as a newcomer, already shows he understands the weight of this responsibility. And though criticism may arise, especially when results don't come right away, he seems committed to a long-term strategy: preserve to win. Will this approach work? Will the Leafs be able to maintain the necessary pace to secure a strong playoff position without pushing their pillars to the limit? These are questions only time and the ice will answer. But one thing's for sure, the season is far from over. And if the Toronto Maple Leafs want to turn talent into a title, they'll have to play not only with skill, but with intelligence. Every decision now is like a precise pass on the power play. It must be timed perfectly, aimed carefully, and leave no room for error. If you want to keep following every step of the Leafs on this thrilling journey, subscribe now to Leafs News Fan Report, turn on notifications, and come with us through the end of the season. Here, you won't miss a single detail, because every game counts. And every choice, too. As a Leafs fan, I'll be honest with you. It's impossible not to feel torn right now. On one hand, seeing Matthews and Marner carrying the team on their backs, fighting until the last second, shows how committed they are to this jersey. These guys are the soul of the team. When they shine, Toronto comes alive. But it also hurts to see how much they're being pushed game after game. You can't pretend that doesn't come at a cost. We've seen this movie before, a season ending with our top players exhausted, and then come playoffs, and there's no legs, no energy, missing that extra spark. And honestly, I don't want to see that again. I fully support Craig Berube in this decision. Resting now is investing in the future. It's playing with strategy. And as much as we, as fans, want to see our idols on the ice all the time, the truth is the NHL marathon is brutal. If we want to arrive strong in April, we need to be smart now. Of course, this means the rest of the roster has to step up. Guys who usually stay out of the spotlight need to show up. But that's exactly what separates a good team from a championship team: depth, trust, and balance. So yes, I support resting our stars, because I want to see them deciding games when it really matters. And if there's one thing we know, It's that when Matthews and Marner are at 100%, no one can stop the Leafs. And now I want to hear from you, fan. Do you agree with me, or do you think our stars should be on the ice at all costs? Comment below. This conversation is ours. And of course, if you love this team as much as I do, subscribe to the Leafs News Fan Report channel, hit the like button, and turn on the bell, because here, the passion for the Toronto Maple Leafs never rests, not even on optional skate days. And look, being real, if there's one thing this season has shown us, it's that the margin for error is getting smaller and smaller. The Eastern Conference is on fire, and every lost point can be the difference between having home ice in the playoffs or facing a giant right away. But that's where the dilemma comes in. Is it worth wearing out our top players now, risking injuries or a drop in performance, just to secure a slightly better spot in the standings? For me, the answer is clear. We can't just think about the present. We have to think like a big team, like a team that truly wants to compete for the Stanley Cup. And for that, Matthews, Marner, Nylander, and company need to be healthy when it really matters. The season is long, and the playoffs are war. If we get there with our soldiers wounded, it won't matter how well we played in the regular season. And that's why I respect Berube's choice. It's not an easy decision. The media pressures, the fans' pressure, and the players themselves want to be on the ice all the time. But part of being a good coach is knowing when to pull the brakes. Because he sees further ahead than we do. He's thinking about the big journey, not just the next game. And this is also a test for the rest of the team. Because being a champion isn't just about having stars. It's about having a whole group committed. And if we need other guys to step up now while the pillars rest, then they better come in strong. Because every shift counts. Every line change can be the detail that defines the story of the season. So, Leafs fan, take a deep breath with me. The road to the Stanley Cup is long. There will be nerves, criticism, and tough games. But if we keep the faith, if this team finds the right balance between effort and strategy, I believe. Do you? If you believe in this team too, leave your like, share it with other fans, and subscribe here to Leafs News Fan Report. Because here, we live every game like it's the final. And when April comes, we'll be together in front of the TV, ready to watch the Leafs make history.